Well, thank you. Talent's the big topic, folks. When I look at what I work on and what I can tell you I foresee for Michigan's future, probably the most important single issue is talent in terms of economic opportunity and quality of life opportunity for Michiganders. What you're doing here today and what you did by being here yesterday, by investing your time, your effort, you're working on probably the single most important issue that can be worked on in our state. Because it's that intersection of economic opportunity and quality of life. Because it's about creating careers for folks, for real people again. The way I described it last year, and I want to reinforce it this year, I call it talent in the 3 C's. Because it really highlights that we had a broken system. And too often, I would still say it's more broken than working the way it should, and will. Because it will work better because of your hard work. Now the 3 C's, you've heard them. That was the 3 award titles. Start with collaboration. Working with the private sector to understand where the demand for careers are. If you listen to the panel members here, you can hear there are a lot of jobs out there, a lot of careers out there. If you go to mitalent.org, you'll see nearly 70,000 open jobs in Michigan today. That's a lot of jobs, folks. And I bet that's an understated number. People would hire even more if they thought they could fill all those positions. And so part of collaboration is understanding where those positions are and what skill sets employers believe they need to have people successfully enter those. The second C is about creating talent, about getting those skills so you can successfully enter into a career. That gets into our education system, what I like to call a P20 system, prenatal through lifelong learning. That gets to the point of, are they getting the background, the education? And you can see that over and again. We heard that on the panel, that we're not doing the best job today. Too often it's focused on a diploma, a degree, and not saying, are you really career ready? Again, we never want to tell anyone what they should study. And we always want people to be broad-based and have opportunities to learn in any field you really want. But we can do a much better job of making sure they're getting the skill sets they need to be successful. The biggest gap you heard over and over again would be in the skilled trades area. So while we emphasized over the last few years the importance of getting a university degree, and that was the right thing to do, we made a big mistake. We did not equally emphasize the quality, the opportunity of becoming a skilled tradesperson. If you go through and do the analysis, many of those jobs I mentioned are going to be ranging $50,000 to $80,000, sometimes $100,000 or more. Isn't that what we should be aspiring to help our citizens achieve? So this creating talent is really changing the dialogue to say, how do we translate that into a real opportunity that opens those doors? That's the supply side of talent. The third C is about connecting those two worlds. To say they're not islands separate from one another, but we need to engage the supply and demand side to work better together, hand in hand. Because the old system we've had for years and years was we do fuzzy demand over here with job postings. We do supply over here that says it's about a credential or a certificate or about an achievement of so many credit hours. Both worlds need to come together, folks. We shouldn't walk away from either end, but we need to find those connectors to say they need to overlap more. There needs to be an engagement of the private sector with the education sector, with the education sector, with the private sector. And our role as government is not to create the jobs, but to be the facilitator to bring those parties together, to be the matchmaker. And that's what this is all about. If you step back and look at the big picture, think about how far Michigan has come in just the last 3 years. Over 250,000 private sector jobs being created. Personal income's coming back. For 3/4 of last year, we were number 1. We were tied for first with the Great Lakes states, number 7 in our country. Our labor force is growing again. People are getting encouraged enough to enter the labor market again after being discouraged for a decade. Our population is growing again. We've had 2 years of growth now. You had to go back to 2003 and 4 to see that for the last time. But there's so much more to be done. Again, think of that. 70,000 open jobs. But good, well-paying jobs in most cases. When I talked about those jobs being created in Michigan, we ranked number 4 in the country for high-wage job growth, number 6 for middle-wage job growth. And far too many openings still exist. I hope you come out of here today with a fire and passion to say, I'm not just going to talk about those last 2 days. I'm going to talk about this topic every day. And I'm going to stay involved in my region. I'm going to create those public-private partnerships, understanding that's the only way this is going to get done. But you're going to create that environment for success. So when we come back and do something like this next year, we can say we've taken these programs, we've learned from one another, we've had that list of best practices, of action items, and they have gotten done. And here's the next list, and use relentless positive action to join together as Michiganders to reinvent our state. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.